I guess one thing I didn't expect to find underneath here were chili peppers.
Hi, welcome to Overlander Overhaul here from Boulder, Colorado. I'm John Bauer, and I'm in the process of renovating this 1970 27-foot Airstream Overlander Land Yacht from the bottom up. And today we're going to work on the belly pan. So this kind of a unit's been around for 55 years or so, has a space between the belly pan, which is a metal bottom, and then above that, the flooring. Here's where I'm working today. These curved areas are attached to the underbelly. You have to remove a whole lot of rivets underneath here to get those to drop off and to clean out everything else. I've already removed most of the rivets for the belly pan below there, and I'll show you what I came across when I was doing that. It wasn't a very pleasant experience. So here's what's underneath here. Take a look at this. It is just packed, totally full of vegetative material from whatever that pack rat or mouse or rat was doing. Just totally solid there underneath here. I guess it was creating a certain amount of insulation, but I don't think that's the kind of insulation that I want in the Airstream.
I guess one thing I didn't expect to find underneath here were chili peppers. So at some point, the pack rat, or whoever it was, liked chili peppers and stashed those down here. I don't know who else knows what, but it's a pretty gross mess underneath here, and not something I really enjoyed doing, frankly. Ugh.
Okay, the first step here, if we're going to be drilling out a whole lot of rivets, is to understand what the size of that rivet is. I need to save these corner pieces here and reuse them, so I don't want to over drill the size of the holes and have problems later when I want to re-rivet that back to the belly pan. So these are the three main sizes of rivets that you'll be seeing in the Airstream: 1/8, 5/32, 3/16. And by drilling the proper holes for those and then making sure they fit, I can always know what size rivet I'm using without having to try to guess at that again. So this has been a great little tool for me. What I want to do is check these rivet sizes to the ones that are holding this belly pan on. And then what I'm going to do is select the right size of an auger or drill bit that is specially designed to drill that out. And these bits, as you look at them, they got two big pieces here. The front part here is held by the mechanism. It holds it still while you drill out the rivet from inside. So it keeps the rivet from spinning while you're drilling it. The drill takes out the rivet itself and the rivet drops out. But these are all different sizes, so I don't want to get one that's too large or too small. I want to find the right size for each rivet, and that way I know that I'm going to efficiently remove those rivets without damaging the aluminum around them. So I've determined the proper size of rivet that's in that belly pan is a 5/32. That's kind of the medium size of these. So here's the gizmo that's going to remove it. The drill bit fits in here. We tighten that up. This will be held and turned by the drill itself. The nice tightness there, using little pliers to hold it. This is the slip arm here. I'm going to hold onto this while everything underneath it spins. Screwing that in tight, you can see the drill bit is now emerging above there. And here's the little gizmo that holds the top of the rivet tight while you drill out the inside. That goes in here, and I adjust the height of that by moving this nut along that line. So this goes in here, and then you can see as I press up here, that drill bit peeks out. And that drill is really, that bit's too long now. I want to change this so it's just going to drill out the center of the rivet and then stop. And as I pull that back, the rivet will just usually drop right out. Okay, here's my completed tool ready to go. You can see as I press this up here, that drill bit just barely comes above the top of that little mechanism that holds the rivet tight. So I'm going to press hard against that rivet. I'm going to drill back, and then as the rivet is drilled through, I'll drop this out. And these holes here are where the pieces of aluminum will fall out, and it does tend to get clogged up in here. Sometimes you have to watch that while you're doing it, especially if you're doing a lot of rivets. But you can take the rivets out as fast as you can drill, and as you work your way along that line of rivets, then they all start to drop out, and you can pop out whatever's left of that if you've got a little piece still holding the metal together. Okay, here I go. I've got my safety glasses on, of course, because a lot of pieces of aluminum rivet are going to be coming down in my face. And as I get to an area where this pan is dropping off, I'm going to put a mask on too, because I've already discovered there's a whole lot of rat shit up in there that I want to not have fall into my mouth and face. But for now, I'm just going to be dealing with the aluminum pieces coming from the rivets. So all I'm doing is finding the center of the rivet here, holding this, drilling, and the rivet pops out. If you can see that. Just a matter then, and I'm clearing out the rivet from my tool each time. It's pretty quick, actually. I got a lot of rivets to do, so I'm glad it's quick. Okay, I've got all the rivets, all the skirting here off, and all that sheet metal pan there. It's one big piece, and I'm thinking I can just get a little come along and yank that from that end there, yank it and pull it free, and the whole pan should drop down. It's kind of one of those things I'm doing by myself that I would like to have a friend here for, but I'll make it work. Okay, so here's my solution to a way to pull this belly pan out from the front there. I've got a couple of C-clamps there, tight. I've got to come along here, pulling from there over to my frame. So I'm gonna give that a yank. Hopefully the C-clamps don't pull off. I'm not worried about damaging that sheet metal that's underneath there. If it tears, that's fine. I don't need that. I'm gonna replace it anyway with aluminum. But if you can look way back in there, you can see there's a lot of material back in there. We'll see what I find as I pull it all the way out, but it'll be good to have access to this undercarriage now so I can rust-proof it and insulate it properly before I put the pan back. Well, it was a great idea, and before the C-clamp tore through the aluminum there, it did pull that quite a bit of ways. Good start on this. I can see a lot more debris there, but I think if I can take the other side, one more clamp there, tie it again, and use the come along, I should be able to yank it enough to have that whole pan just drop down so I can have access to the undercarriage. It worked. Success. I have pulled out the belly pan here. You can see all of the debris, especially in those corners that was coming out. That's where I found all the packed stuff of the day. You can still see some stuff packed up in there. So I'm going to pull this whole belly pan out from underneath the Airstream. I'm going to save it, of course. I want to be able to use this as a template. As I said, I've got a lot of sheets of aluminum that came with the trailer, and I'm going to be using those and replace the belly pan with aluminum sheeting instead of this just galvanized metal sheeting. Success. Okay, I've pulled out that pan. You see it's about the front third of the entire trailer, and you can see what's interesting in here. It's been pulled in by the pack rats. There's a pen he took in there, a cloth of some sort, all kinds of things, including a lot of extra insulation, some plant matter and other things. You can also see how this sheet metal, well, galvanized, is pretty well worn through anyway, so it's a good idea to replace that. It'll be a better, thicker piece of metal. It'll be a much better protector for underneath the trailer going forward. All right, so the belly pan is all off, and you can now look up and see what's underneath here. You can actually see the rather thin amount of insulation they put in these Airstreams way back. But this has gotten rid of all the filth that was in there. It's given me access to the belly for running wiring or some piping as I would want to do. Most importantly, I'll be able to come back now and insulate thoroughly. I'll use polystyrene insulation, much thicker insulation. It'll be much better protection from the cold. I'll also be able to come under here and remove all this rust and put rust proofing on all of the belly as well. So I think we'll make a decision. So to remove or not to remove, no question, I think you should do that. Unless you're going to be lifting the entire body off of the chassis and working from the top down, it just makes a lot more sense in this case to get that off, get it clean, start again, and then come back with a nice fresh belly on it when we're all done. Okay, that's all for the Overlander Overhaul. If you like what you see, like it, subscribe please, and please watch the rest of the videos as we journey our way to the Overlander Overhaul.